everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and welcome back to the workshop for 2024, and also welcome back to the channel. Now, I had a great break over Christmas and New Year's. I got to spend time with family, friends, the people I love and care about, and I'm rested and rejuvenated and ready for 2024. And what better way to kick off 2024 over here on the YouTube channel than with an updated shop tour. This is something I like to do now to begin each and every year, to just show everyone where everything is out here in this 12-foot by 24-foot woodworking shop that's primarily a scroll saw workshop. Now keep in mind, a lot of stuff is still in the same place from previous shop tours, but some things have been moved around and some things have been upgraded, and that is the focal point of today's video. And again, it's just to reacquaint everyone who are longtime followers and subscribers where everything is out here in the small workspace, as well as showing new subscribers, hopefully, where everything is as well out here in the workshop. Now, the only way I know how to do a video like this is take the camera off of the tripod and do it free-handed. So I apologize in advance for any shakiness, like, you know, from panning around or any quick and sudden movements. I'm going to start at the shop door like I usually do, and we're going to go all the way around in a 360 view and quickly talk about everything before putting it back on the tripod to close the video. So without further ado, let's start at the shop door. Now, it is well before sunrise here in Burlington, North Carolina, but we will go in and shut the door to keep the heat in. And you can see, as soon as you enter the door, you have the scroll saw display wall, and I will do a quick panoramic view all the way around the workshop so you can see. It's not a very big workshop. I have maximized every inch that my grandfather built out here, but right here is the door we came in. On the reverse side is the Godzilla poster. I just love the classic movie stuff and the Japanese text and everything. Here we have the drill press that I drill a lot of the pilot holes on, especially for the compound cut keychains. It's essential that you have a nice straight, you know, way to drill the drill bits as opposed to like a little drilling machine. So the Sears Craftsman 17-inch 16 3/4 horsepower drill press here works great for that purpose. And you can see I've got a 1/4-inch drill bit here. I was drilling out for a keychain ring there, and there is more of my most common used drill bits as well as several sets here. Here is a jig I 3D printed to hold in dowel rods or anything that's round to where you can line them up to drill. There is my folding clamping workbench that I take outside when it's nice, and I also set the thickness planer up on it out here in the workshop. My original shop vac that the original table saw was hooked to, but now I've got a bigger and better one, so that and just lives behind the door. Now in the summer, I will prop this door open, or in warmer weather, and it will be open and it'll hide the drill press, and a lot of people that come over in warmer weather don't even know I have one, but there it is. The panel box for all the electrical is back there, and you can see I've got posters from where I was blessed to be part of events up at Klingspor's woodworking shops throughout North Carolina. Right here is what I call my hardware store, and it has all of the little nuts and bolts and everything that I use, and I'm getting better at organizing and labeling everything. There is like a bunch of pieces for like sawtooth blade hangers, you know, to where you can hang the scroll work I make and everything. And above this is some of my grandfather's original hand saws. He had about 15 out here. I just hung those 3 up just to have something to represent him out here. And the meat cleavers was from my great grandfather's farm when they had livestock and all out there. And right here is the wood stove. And the wood stove is really where my woodworking journey began, and I just wanted to hear my grandfather's stories, and he came out here and lit the fire. You can hear one crackling in there now. It's got the shop nice and warm. And then just a boy's curiosity, I wanted to know what all these amazing tools out here are done, and we began getting the shop back in workshop order, and he quickly showed me how to use the scroll saw. But a lot of people ask if the heat is too much around everything, and the pipe goes here and up the side of the building there, but everything here is still like just lukewarm to the touch. Nothing is extremely hot here or anything, and I can feel the heat. I can touch my hand to the pipe, so it's nothing extremely hot for those wondering. There is my Craftsman weed eater and leaf blower that I use. Again, they are not even warm. They're far enough away. Here is just some stuff I have hung up to represent me. The Hot Wheels stuff up there is just something that I love to collect, the Hot Wheels cars, you guys know. Here is a Pirates of the Caribbean ride sign that a subscriber to the channel made, Interactive Realm. He made this for me and sent it to me, and I thank him for that. Here is a V-carved Thomas the Tank Engine sign that I made out of rustic pallet wood. And you can see how it's kind of very, very rustic because it was just cheap pallet wood that I made this out of with the V-carving technique. I 3D printed some Wolverine claws here, and I'd just been laying them around everywhere, and I finally just hung them there, and surprisingly, they stay. Right here is the sticker swap sticker box, and this was my very first venture into the world of sticker swapping, and with that, I never thought I'd fill something like that up. I didn't think people would want to sticker swap with me because I was relatively an unknown when I started doing everything for, you know, the scroll saw woodworking, but it quickly filled up within 6 months, and I made the sticker swap sticker wall above the workbench. But here is where it lives now, on a disco ball spinner up there in the rafters. And once again, I will do a slower panoramic here of the scroll saw display wall, and this wall showcases several forms of scroll saw woodworking. A lot of the projects you see here are past YouTube videos, and I will switch it around occasionally. Once everything gets too cluttered, I will start, you know, giving pieces for like birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or something like that. Or if someone comes over and just really, really wants something that I have made, I will occasionally part with it. But a lot of my favorite pieces are up here. There is a lot of Steve Good designs up here, as well as Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts and Fox Chapel Publishing designs. Now, over the years, it's evolved to hold CNC work, 3D print work, as well as now laser work. Speaking of which, before we get into the laser, this was my grandfather's original workbench, and this is not its original home. I did move it just to improve workflow. That is his original vise there, and so many memories are there at the center of that workbench there, where I was just learning from him at a very young age of 14, just all the things of making and creating things. But it's now where my laser area is, and the laser is in this fireproof enclosure here. Of course, you can't see it. I will turn on the power strip here, and there you see a 3D printed Bob-omb from the Mario franchise that holds all of the tools for the laser itself. But I will flip this on, and the light will come on in, and you can see in there is the laser. It's a 20-watt longer Ray 5 laser engraver, and it does have air assist equipped, and everything is piped out through the back there through the vent. Laser engraving can give off several toxic fumes, but here's just some examples of some of the stuff I've made on it, and I want to get into doing more laser projects for Wednesday videos. Of course, I will never go away from scroll saw woodworking. That's what I love to do, but I'm now finding it I like to teach on the laser as well. And remember, we started with a 5-watt laser engraver, and we done stuff like this Christmas train here with some amazing detail in it. This sits in the train room, but I brought it out here to show you guys. We have laser engraved on glass. And speaking of trains, the train's going by in the background. If you guys will hear the horn in a minute. We have done a video on laser engraving slate, but ever since I upgraded to the 20-watt, I've tackled more complicated patterns like this fairy here. This a layered design and has some great imagery in it. We have tried some bendable wooden bracelets here, and this is out of 3mm basswood, I believe it is. And then I even done this honeybee design, and I'd like to come back and do this on video because my grandfather was a beekeeper, and I think this would just tie everything in, as well as showing off some amazing technology out in the workshop. Just let me know if you guys want to see more laser stuff. It is something that I'm toying with, and I'm probably going to do a dedicated Wednesday video just talking about if you guys want to see the laser and everything. And the laser is ran by this laptop here. It's on the toolbox here with all the vintage Craftsman tools in it and wrenches and all. This was my grandfather's as well, but this laptop here runs the Lightburn software, and it powers and runs the laser. And I don't do a lot of design work here on the laptop itself out here in the workshop. What I will usually do, and you hear the train there, is load actual files onto a USB drive, and I'll ferry them from the house, from the big desktop that I edit videos on, out here, and I'll just transfer them this way, and then I can do the final modifications while I'm actually out here at the laser itself. right here is something new from last year. This is a printer my buddy Sam at Knighthood Creations gave me, and I can quickly select a pattern if it's from a magazine and photocopy it without having to run back and forth to the house and everything. And this cabinet my aunt gave me, I've already got some stickers on it, and it holds all of my scroll saw woodworking and crafts magazines, as well as the Fox Chapel publishing books and all of the manuals for all the tools. It's nice to keep these hidden away and out of the dust of the workshop. And here is something that my buddy sent me. My buddy Robert up in New York sent me this. He sent me the metal mesh here for my original honeycomb spoil board for the laser, and you can see I used it a lot before actually getting a proper honeycomb laser board for the laser at Christmas. But moving along here is my stock of 1/4 inch material. Of course, you guys know that I cut out a ton of stuff with the scroll saw out of 1/4 inch material so I can stack cut it as well. I've also got some flat pieces of cardboard here. I want to do some trial stuff with the laser as well, but this is where I keep my stocks. I get my scroll saw material at Lowe's Home Improvement, and I get it in full 4x8 sheets and then get it broke down into 2 foot by 4 foot panels for easier transportation. Here is my lathe area, and you guys know I'm not a turner, but it's fun to just step over here and try something new if I do feel a burnout over on the scroll saw. And I have made, I hope to say this, some decent pieces here. I love the checkerboard goblet. That was my only resin project. There was some nice grain in that cedar goblet, and I have some turn-in videos. They have never been as popular as the scroll saw projects, but this is something I do really want to learn because I've got a lot of amazing friends that are great woodworking turners. Right here is my rigid belt and spindle sander, and I get a lot of questions about this, if it's any good, and I love it. I would highly recommend this if you do not have it in your workshop. And one upgrade from last year, I have it now connected to a dust system. There is a 1-gallon shop vac there, and it hardly ever gets full because, you know, it's just the fine dust that comes off of this, but it does separate the dust now and collects in there, and I don't have to pick it up and move it to where I can connect it to the primary shop vac. And beside this is my grandfather's Sears Craftsman router and router table, and all of my router bits are stored here as well as below underneath in a box. But I use this to put decorative edges on things, and I really want to use the router more. It's a tool that intrigues me, and I know a lot of people can do stuff. I cannot freehand route real good, and that's something that I'd like to step up and be able to learn and master. But before going over to the back of the workshop, we will swing around here, and I'm going to try to do it slowly so as not to give anybody any like grogginess from quick panning. But back here beside the door, there was my grandfather's levels that he had. I've just got them hanging up there. There is the Artisan Pirate banner. That's also my sticker that I send out. Of course, I always love to sticker swap and interact with everyone. Custom Flag Man makes these. The banners are $25 a piece for a 4 foot by 4 foot banner such as you see here, or a 3 foot by 5 foot banner, which is a traditional flag size here in the US. And I've got hats up here. Custom Flag Man's a great man, and he can hook you up with a great shop logo banner just like that. And below that is the CNC machine. And you guys know that I've done a couple CNC videos last year. CNC work is something that also intrigues and fascinates me. It's just with all my other fascinations, this one here just gets left by the wayside, and I hate to say that, but this is a Rockler Shark CNC machine. I think it's called the Shark Pro Plus, and of course I've customized it and pirated it up with the skull and crossbones and the Jaws logo and everything there. But I've made some great stuff on it. I like to do V-carving, which is what this is, and this was one of my first ever solo projects over here on the CNC machine. But you can see how it cuts out everything in a V-carving manner, kind of a V-carve router bit, so to speak. But it says work like a captain, so you can play like a pirate with the Jolly Roger there. That's V-carving. But I have also done what's called pocket carving, and I designed this butler tray here out of mahogany where you can put your wallet and keys and loose change in at the end of a day on a bedside table or countertop. And then I also made this pumpkin shaped candy dish out of ash wood, and this is what's called pocket carving, where it essentially scoops out a pocket with a straight bit in the CNC head over there. down here on the floor is some dry wood. Of course, we are in the cooler months, so I want to keep the workshop warm to avoid getting sick or anything. And there is another scrap bin that I throw things in. And I will start collecting scraps like this around late August, early September for the cooler months ahead. Other than that, this barrel will fill up and I'll go dump it by the fire pit, and on a nice morning or afternoon I will get rid of it that way. But now that we're in the cooler months, it stays full for prep work for heat in the workshop. And before I forget about it, I forgot it in last year's shop tour, but I do have an air filtration unit, and there it is. It's the Win one. It has filters in it, and when I installed this, the air quality out here increased tenfold, and I wish I'd have done that sooner. And you can see back there in the background, there is a Pirate's Jolly Roger. Now in the summer, I will keep the doors propped open. I will put a fan on top of the wood stove to where, you know, it circulates air. Of course, air quality is essential out here in a small woodworking shop. But we will move along, and over here is my grandfather's bandsaw, and it's the old classic 3-wheel design. It's a Delta 16-inch motorized bandsaw, and this is a tool I do want to upgrade. I've been looking at the Rikon bandsaws. This tool is just so old, and it don't have the ump behind it, I guess I'm trying to say, to cut some of the harder materials that I'm trying to mill down. So I'm resorted in going and taking maybe an inch of oak, and instead of resawing it, I'm just planing it down and wasting all that material over on the thickness planer. But it's still a great tool, and I use it primarily to rip down the sheet goods for scroll saw woodworking. The bandsaw is something else I'd really like to step up my game with. There is the newer shop vac, and you can see it's connected to the table saw there, as well as the air compressor and air hose. There is my box that I take with me when I do live scroll saw demos. I hope to get to do that a lot this year. I will just prep maybe 10-15 projects, drop them in the box with my business cards and stickers, and we will hit the road. Here is another hardware area that my buddy gave me, and it's packed to the brim with just loose nuts and bolts. If I put something together and they leave like a spare screw in it, like if you lose one, I will drop it in one of these bins as well. And the man that gave me that also give me the CNC machine, a good buddy of mine, good friend, Ben Harris, and he taught me a lot on the CNC machine, as well as for the laser and CNC machine and 3D printing. His workshop was one of the first places I seen a laser, a 3D printer, and a CNC machine. So I thank him for exposing me to all that amazing technology and capabilities out here in the workshop. Right here is something new. This is my display area. If you guys make me something or send me something, please know I will treasure it forever. I am a pirate, and not all treasure is silver and gold. I will quickly pan and talk about everything here. My buddy Nerdy Boy Studios in Virginia had cards made for his little group of people, and I 3D printed this stand here for his card to go in. He is a good freelance photographer. He's also just a good person in general. My buddy Michael turned this beautiful pirate themed pin, and it does go in this case, and that's probably where I'll put it after this video to keep it from getting banged up, but I wanted it shown here on camera. Thank you for that, Michael. I've had subscribers send me examples of their scroll saw work, so really neat. Chris Stinson at Klingspor, he turned these finials and give them to me. Just great examples of the lathe and something I'd like to learn how to do. Paul Jackman, who does a lot of pallet upcycling projects, give me one of his coins. Michelle Parsons, I actually won this from her at a Klingspor. She is a great and amazing wood pyrographer. I had a subscriber send me several pin turning blanks here that he had milled down, and one that I don't think I'll ever use just because of the sentimental value and story behind it is this piece here, and you can see it says this is a church prayer rail installed in 1926, so well before both of my grandparents were even born, and it's Douglas fir, but this is milled down to a pin turning blank, and I keep it here. My buddy Robert in New York got me a Swiss Army knife, and I keep it there. Jerry, who turns cowboy hats and hummingbird houses, turned me that, and I thank him for that. My buddy Marty at Marty's Ramblings made me this small stuff here, and I've got it displayed. He is a great friend and brother. grandfather and a very religious individual, and I thank him for his friendship and kindness. There is another piece of scroll saw work that a subscriber sent me. As you guys know, I throw up the peace sign at the end of my videos for peace all over. There is where I was part of the Maker Faire in Burlington. Sadly, it's no longer around, but I actually took 2 of these and had all the participants sign it, and I give one to Ben Harris, who I just mentioned about the CNC machine, who was running it, and my buddy Sam at Knighthood Creations made me this for my birthday last year. Now, I just set this here. It goes back in the house in the train room. It's just something I wanted to show here on camera in today's video. He laser engraved that train on a piece of marble tile, so that is really cool. Thank you for that, buddy. Another poster here for Klingspor's Woodworking Shop. But now we will come around to the area that I spend the most time in, and we will finish at the scroll saw because that's something I want to talk a lot about. But over here beside the bandsaw is my stool that I sit in to scroll saw in, and I'll move it to the side real quick. Here is my scrap bin area, and I've got scraps everywhere lying around the shop. It's just a nature of that, but most of it goes in the scrap bin here. And when it starts to pile high, I will find a multi-part project or something to where I can quickly use up some of the scrap wood. And again, if it gets way too full, of course we have the fire pit outside, and it does pain me to have to get rid of it that way, but you can't store every little piece, and I quickly learned that. But there is more material there. Here's where I keep all of my spray paints and my clear coat and all. Of course, you guys know I'm a firm believer in using Rust-Oleum clear gloss as a finish for scroll saw projects. And here is the memorial area for my grandfather. He is the man that taught me everything I originally knew about woodworking. Of course, I have probably far exceeded what he knew about woodworking. He was just a man of his time, born in the late 30s and grew up in the Great Depression, same as my grandmother, but I love them dearly. There is his original shop sign. There is where he was a beekeeper. I mentioned that earlier. There is me and him. I was a baby then. Unfortunately, when he got older, he was just one of those people that did not like his picture taken, but I am thankful I have that picture with him. There is his plumb bob and string from when he worked construction helping to build Chapel Hill Hospital. Here is his glasses, his hammer, his ruler, his original Sears Craftsman tape measure there, and one of the last hats he ever wore. But this is just my memorial area to a man that taught me so much. And he was also a champion rabbit breeder. He won the Purina Rabbit Breeders Trophy 3 or 4 times in a row, and the last time he won it, they just told him to take that trophy there and just keep it. It was no need to return it. It was supposed to be like one of those trophies you passed on to next year's winner and just got to keep it for like bragging rights. Here is just some other stuff I have stored, as well as more books. Those were more of my original woodworking books, separate from all the amazing ones that Fox Chapel Publishing has sent me. Here is a lot of my C-clamps. There is a fretwork scroll saw clock that we made, and I've just got it hung there because it wouldn't fit on the display wall, and I need to get a new clock face for it. I had to use that for something else. Here is my Sears Craftsman 20-volt battery line, and I stand by this. The leaf blower and weed eater you've seen earlier is also of this same line, and they use the same batteries. I love that instead of having several different brands out here, you know, to where I have to keep track of several types of chargers. Everything is universal here, and I like that fact. I've got my bag there. If I got to run somewhere and break something down, I can throw the batteries and blades in there and take everything with me. But my grandfather was a firm believer in Craftsman tools, the original brand, and again, I have a lot of his stuff as well, but this is just where I keep everything, as well as all of the chargers. And Lowe's Home Improvement is less than 5 miles from home, so that's also good if I need to go pick up something there. Here is the scroll saw, the sticker swap display wall. Got confused there for a second, and you can see it is filled with a ton of stuff, and I've still got room here. A new sticker swap video is coming soon. I've got enough to do another video. Hopefully I've got enough to do another one, but that'll be a future Wednesday video. But again, if you guys want to sticker swap with me, I'll be happy to get my sticker out to you guys, and you can get your sticker out to me, and I'll be happy to put it on the display wall. And eventually, I know I'm just going to have to take everything off right here as much as that'll be a disappointment moving the clock and the amazing router sign that Lou at Crosscut Carvings made me, you know, down, and I'll add another panel there. But, you know, I do want to represent everyone that sends me a sticker. And over here I have my Klingspor's Woodworking Shop banner, quality tools and supplies for the woodworker, woodworkingshop.com. I am happy to be a part of the Klingspor family, and I've done demos at all 4 of their locations as well as their woodworking extravaganza in 2023, and hope to repeat all that in 2024. But I cannot say enough things about the crew and people at Klingspor's Woodworking Shop, and the banner is there. And of course, when we get to warmer weather, the heater will be gone and you'll be able to see it fully in the beginning of each of my videos. And then over here is just another display area here where I've just got stuff and nostalgia and everything. You guys know I'm a very nostalgic person, but I want to focus in here on the pictures, and I'm not going to showcase every one, just a few of them. Here we are. Here is me and my buddy Marty at Marty's Ramblings. There's my buddy Robert from New York, who I talked about earlier. He came down all the way from New York to North Carolina to take part in the woodworking extravaganza, and then he hung out with me for a week in Burlington, and this was his final day in Burlington. We eat at Texas Roadhouse. This is my good friend and great buddy Jerry Meismer, who turns to cowboy hats, and there's my buddy Sam at Knighthood Creations. Michael Matthews here is also a phenomenal turner, and there of course is myself. But we went up and spent the day in Jerry's workshop and had a great lunch and everything. There is my buddy Devin, who I finally got to meet last year in Myrtle Beach while we were on the family vacation, and he is a great supporter of my channel. Here's my buddy Cabell, and he goes with me on a lot of the park tours, or we do a random adventure on a Wednesday video. 9 times out of 10 he will travel with me. That is my good buddy. He's older than me, but that doesn't make a difference. We click on so many aspects of life, just on stuff we like and our thought process and all. Here is Chris Stinson, who turned the finials. He works at Klingspor. Rosa Houston, the saw stop guy. This was back with the Boys and Girls Club. And there is Michelle Parsons. There is Chris Smith, who is a phenomenal teacher on the CNC machine and just a great individual. Gary at Gary Bear Woodworks. There's my buddy Jeffrey, and he met up with me when I was being the pirate at a gig in Graham, North Carolina. We have Paul Jackman here. Of course, I talked about him earlier. Stated Woods, the president of Rycon, and we'll get to that in a second. There is Izzy Swan and his wife, my buddy Daryl at Dreadnoughts. There is Sterling Davis, and he's actually standing there with my scroll saw. It actually went with me to Hickory for the demos. There we are again. Here we are. There's Jerry, there's me, and there's my buddy Sam again. And this is my buddy Lou at Crosscut Carvings, who does these amazing handcrafted router signs here. So a very talented woodworker in his own right. There's me and Coleman. Me and my buddy Shannon and his wife. He's at Zip Zero Art if you guys want to follow him, and he's an amazing graphics designer and happy to help anyone create custom patterns or designs. Me and Steve Good, so really good friends with him. And then over here is me with the group from the Mebane train display. You guys know I like going up there and hanging out and talking about trains, and this is just a luncheon the city give us, as well as everybody else in the community that volunteers at places like that. And that was not all of us, that's just who all could make it that day. And that is just some photos that I treasure and like to look up at. And right here is one of the newest additions to the workshop, is the table saw. And this is the new Rycon job site table saw. It folds up, it's on wheels. I've already taken it outside to rip down some 8-foot 2x4s and sheet goods. And this thing is a beast. It is variable speed. It has an included disc sander where the variable speed really comes in handy. The blade raises and lowers extremely quickly. It is very precise and accurate, very minimal vibration. I know back when I had my old table saws that was out here, if I would rip something down and lay my gripper aside, it would vibrate off. Now it does not vibrate off, so I'm thankful for that. It's got the included miniature rip fence here for ripping down thinner stock, and the fence slides smoothly. And of course right now it's holding the tripod where the camera originally or mainly lives when I'm filming videos. Over here is where I spend 90% of my time. And I did the shop tour a little bit differently this year. I usually start at the scroll saw and then go back to the door. I just wanted to start at the door and make my way around. But this is where I spend most of my time. This is the Delta, I think it's the 40-694 variable speed 20-inch scroll saw, and this is a beast of a tool, and you guys know I've made a ton of amazing projects on it. Like this, I turn wood into things. What's your superpower sign that I cut out? And it's made a ton of sawdust, and I still love using it. It's got the upgraded Pegasus chucks from Klingspor's Woodworking Shop to help reduce even more vibration. There's hardly any vibration on it. And of course, you see it is on an angle to reduce neck and shoulder strain, and as well as the angle will help pieces slide down into the scrap bucket, and when the scrap bucket is full, it goes into the wood stove. I have a selection of blades here. Of course, I like using the Shark Tooth Ultra Reverse Tooth blades, number 5 that is. That's what I do 99% of my scroll saw work. Here is just some pens, pencils, micro pieces of sandpaper, just in case I quickly need to touch up something while I am here. And what I'm primarily known for is these right here, the compound cut keychains. I can say, without probably overshooting it, that I have made probably around 800 to 1,000 of these individual keychains, and these cannot be stack cut. This is one of the pieces that you have to have the drill press for, in my opinion, to make sure that everything is accurate when you drill through. Of course, this one says my name of Artisan Pirate, and then this one here says Myrtle Beach, which of course is the city I love to go to, and I take these every time I go to do demos, just to show people what a scroll saw is capable of. And of course, these are not my design per se. This is actually a Steve Good file that he designed and the program for, which is still available on his blog site, and he intended them to be cut out of 1/2-inch material or thinner. I just have always done them in the compound cut manner here, but really, really neat. And like I said, it's what I am primarily known for over on the scroll saw. And speaking of the scroll saw, I am now going to be offering this year the blade alignment jigs here that are 3D printed. They are themed to me. You see they've got the skull and crossbones and the word AP there. And I'll put tension on the blade there. And you can tell that this helps dial in your scroll saw at a perfect 90 degrees, and this is essential for, as I said, cutting out the compound cut keychains or doing stack cutting. So I've been making these and giving these out under demo rules. You know, like when I do a demo, I will go and hand these out to people that I feel are genuinely interested in scroll saw woodworking. But I will now be making these and hopefully marketing these a little bit later on in the year, hopefully around the spring. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. And then over here, I always try to stay humble. I'm going to take the tension off the scroll saw here. But when I'm sitting here, I can always look up and see the very first scroll saw project I done, which of course was cutting out my name, again using a Steve Good program to type my name into the bracket there where it can easily freestand. But I always keep that here. And you know, I never want to have an ego when I do this. I try to stay humble in all I do. That's why I represent all my friends. If you guys give me something, I will try to represent it and show it off in the best way I know how. If it's something that's too big to go in the workshop, you guys know I will do a video on everything. But this is the world that I have created, and I hope you have liked this updated shop tour. Once again, if you missed it at the beginning, the workshop is 12 foot wide by 24 foot long. A lot of space is, you know, unused because of the wood stove there. I could probably put a joiner there if I wanted to. I do have a joiner. It's in the building behind the sticker swap sticker wall there. But one other area I want to show you guys, and I will close, is over here with the music. And of course, it's right by the scroll saw, as well as another heater to keep my hands warm, is music. I think music is essential in the workshop, and I just have a classic iPod here. Of course, here's my cell phone, and I like to keep it turned away from me when I'm out here working so I can get lost in my world of woodworking. But if I need to take a call or something, my cell phone's always out here with me. The speaker is just a guitar amplifier. I have my bottle of sand there just to remind me of how much I love the beach, and the sand is from Myrtle Beach where I love to go. And this is just some stuff that I've put here, as well as the Jolly Roger and everything. But I have my 3D printed pirate skeleton, the Mac Tonight logo. A viewer actually made me this piece of jewelry here, and I thank them for that. My T-Rex skull, and my buddy Ben, once again, he made me that for my birthday one year, and it's just over here, just a nice decorative flair, because when people come over here, I want them to be like, wow, this is a cool place to hang out, you know, or have that kind of thought process. And you guys know I also decorate for Christmas, but I've just taken the decorations down so we can rock and roll for 2024. What I'm going to do right now is put the camera back on the tripod and we will close the video. And that is the workshop tour for 2024. Once again, it's 12 foot by 24 foot. And when I say it's a small workspace, I know a lot of people have even smaller workspaces. I know my buddy over in the UK, Stephen, at Stephen's 8x6 workshop, as the name implies, is a 8 foot by 6 foot workshop. And I cannot imagine working in something that small. I am blessed with what my grandfather has left behind, and he built and created himself, and I've just put my own spin and touch on it. And I thank you all for bearing with me. There's just so much to talk about out here, and usually if someone comes over here to learn or teach, we will do more talking about what's on the walls or things like that than actually do working. But that's also cool. Again, I want it to be good vibes out here. I want people to step through that door, see the scroll saw display wall, and then turn and take it all in and be like, oh wow, this is a cool place to hang out. When can we come back? But really, really cool. I have a lot of amazing content planned for you guys. Keep in mind, I will never go away from scroll saw woodworking. Again, as I said at the beginning, it's what I love to do. It's what I'm passionate about. And as a matter of fact, I've already got the very first scroll saw project video of the year prepped and ready to go to where I can film it and hopefully get it out to you by next Monday. Again, with the colder weather, there might be a week where I miss uploading just due to the weather. I don't want to get sick out here and lose my voice in the cold and everything. The workshop is not heated nor insulated, and I can tolerate the heat a lot better than I can tolerate the cold. It was just a nice day to film the workshop tour, but I'm excited to get back to scroll sawing. And speaking of videos, I have a ton of content planned in my head for the Wednesday edition of the videos. You guys know that they have evolved and took on a life of their own, and there's now people that just follow me for the Wednesday videos and also people that follow me for the Monday videos, but then there's some people that also fall under the whole umbrella and watch everything I upload, and I love that, and I thank you, and I'm so blessed and humbled by your continued support of everything I do over here on this amazing platform that is YouTube. And speaking of, again, I'm never going to go away from scroll saw stuff. I might pepper in some different content. I might get back on the lathe, the laser, the CNC machine. I might try a perfectly router project, you know, using the router or something like that. And those would also be Monday videos because they fall under that woodworking banner for the Monday videos. And the Wednesday videos are just a mishmash of anything that I like, a place I like to go, someone I want to talk to, or just showing off something in my area. But I thank you all for following along. Really looking forward to an amazing ride in 2024. If you're new to the channel, I highly encourage you to click that subscribe button and follow along on all of the uploads I do. Of course, I'm sure you'll find more uploads that you like more so than others, and that's totally okay. But I love everyone's support. If you're new here, as I said, please subscribe to the channel and also follow me across all my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social medias will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care. Really looking forward to 2024. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.